Welcome to the 217 Recovery Podcast.
If you don't make mistakes, you won't learn.
With your host, Corey Winfield.
You know how fish is bad is you can't put it on pizza.
And special guests, Justin Burke.
I said something about that to our master radio broadcaster, and he said that he didn't hear nothing.
And Mitchell O'Brien.
I think to introduce people, we should tell them a little bit about ourselves.
Got your ass.
It is the 25th of July, 2024. No Justin Burke and no Mitchell O'Brien, but replacing them is a very special guest, Rachel Soulier.
Soulier. Rachel Soulier.
Yeah. Is that French?
Yes, French Canadian.
Is that your husband's name?
Yes, my maiden name is Dybicki, so I'm nice and Polish. So
okay,
I got to switch over to the French side. With
How's that
name.
going?
Marriage?
No, just marrying a Canadian that's French or whatever. French Canadian.
Yeah, his family is from southeastern Michigan, but from French Canada and France. Apparently, there's a Soulier vineyard somewhere in France. So I said he needs to take me there. So
nice.
No progress on that yet. It's been almost 6 years of marriage.
Okay.
So maybe in the next 6, that'll be our goal.
Maybe the 10th anniversary. He's got it all planned out already. Just
listen, that would be great.
Making sure everything's working out still. No, yeah. We were talking off the air because we both have young children. But first, let me go back to your name. Okay, Rachel. And you are with Addiction Treatment Services. You're the Director of Marketing and Fund Development. And Fund Development.
Yeah. Fun and fun.
Fun. And you guys have some events coming up that we're going to talk about. Some really, really cool events for September is, of course, Recovery Month. And yeah, we'll get into that in just a minute. But first, let's talk about babies.
Yes.
And no, but we were talking because you have a young one, and you said it's almost 1.
Yes, almost 1 in August. So.
And did you get peed on a lot?
Quite a bit, yeah.
Okay.
Thankfully, my husband is the one on diaper duty most of the time, so that's always great. But you look like someone who's been peed on a lot over there.
Well, and it's not by my choice. Now, my next question is: does your husband get peed on a lot?
Yes.
Really?
Well, he does the trick where you open the diaper real fast and let the air in and then cover, and then he's pretty good. But I mean, he's been peed on at least, I would say, 10 times.
Wow.
Once a month for,
That is 10 more times than I want. And the reason I say this is because the guys, they all have children, and they're like, oh, wait till you get peed on. Wait till this happens. Wait. I was like, I'm not going to get peed on. Like the poop blowout things, those happen. But the pee on it doesn't have to happen. And my wife, when we brought our child home, I don't know. She thought it was a game. And I wake up in the middle of the night and I hear the baby screaming. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to do husband stuff. I'm going to roll over. I'm going to help entertain the baby while he's crying and she's changing the diaper. And so I kind of roll over and I kind of get down by him. I'm like, hey, buddy. And the next thing I know, I feel something that hit me in the side of the head. And I'm like, the hell? And I look over. There's no diaper in sight. He's just out there for the whole world to see. And I'm like, honey, what are you doing? And she's just looking at me. I think it was revenge or something. She probably pointed him to my direction so that he would pee on my head.
Absolutely.
And the guys laughed. We told you were going to pee on. And I was like, that doesn't count. It does not. In my book, that does not count.
That was a revenge pee.
Yeah, was not my response. I was not the one responsible for covering the gun up. You got to cover it up.
Have you seen those PPTPs?
Yes, my sister-in-law sent me one, which they're cute, but they don't work. and then if they did, it would just shoot up.
We need them to be re-engineered. This is a call for anyone who's listening right now to re-engineer the PPTP because it does not work.
You'll make billions of dollars.
Billions, no doubt.
But yeah, so it's fun having a young one, but still it's a lot of work. And we talked about trying to work from home and stuff like that. But it is fun. It is a blessing, and I will not have to die alone. Somebody will take care of me one day, I hope.
That's not where I thought you were going to go with that. I'm grateful every single day of my life, I'll never have to die alone. Hey, that's true.
Put me in a home and maybe come visit me once a week. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a little my expectations may be a little high there. Maybe I'll go first. That's the plan, but we'll see. We'll see how God has that going. But yeah, it is cool, and it's fun to raise a child. But yeah, it is a work. It really is. And, you know, we haven't busted out the baby gates just yet, but the baby gates are in the near future. And it's exciting. You know, I used to think I was going to die alone and never get married and never have children. I thought alcohol was going to take me. And there was a point in my life where I really wanted to give up. You know, I was like, this is too hard. I can't get it. I'm stupid. I can't beat this. I've said I'm never going to drink again a million times. And I've told my family this and that. And here I am again drinking, you know. So to be able to get over that and then to actually create a new life for myself. And there's no way if you'd have met me, you know, 5 years ago, I would have been like, what? I'm working on that. But if you'd been like, this is where we're going to be meeting in your office and blah, blah, blah. And I would have just been like, what? Like, that's crazy, you know. And that's what you can do when you're sober and when you're doing things. So that's pretty awesome. And the CEO of your company, Paula Lipinski, she is also a person in recovery, and she can kind of probably feel the same way. Like, wow, like if you'd have told me 5-6 years ago I'd be doing this today, I would have said, are you crazy? How am I going to get out there? You know, and Paula, she's went to school and she has like degrees and stuff like that. She's very smart. So maybe it wouldn't have like come to a complete shock to her or surprise to her, but I think she'd still be like, wow, like, oh, that's possible. I guarantee you there was a time in her life where she thought this was not possible.
Oh,
the stuff
yeah.
that she's doing today.
And everything she's doing for ATS is incredible. She is such an empowering female leader. She knows recovery. She's been through it. She knows the organization, and just the empathy and respect that she has for people, for her employees, the team members, people going through our programs, people in recovery, just in our general local community. It's just incredible to see her watch her, you know, interact with these people, and just that love and respect that is just like always underlying. Like, she cares about people, point blank. Like, if you have a story to tell, she's going to listen. If, you know, there's something you need help with, she's going to help. And so it's just been really impactful to see her on this journey. And like you said, you know, when she was going through her recovery process, I'm sure there was a time where she was like, this is it for me. You know, it's not things aren't going to get better. And now here she is.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Running things.
Yeah.
I was going to say another word, but I told her I would keep it PG.
Ah, yes.
Yeah. So we're gonna keep on the PG theme, but you'll have a chance, and I'll have a chance. We'll all have a chance to see Paula tell her story, because you guys have an event coming up on the 14th of September. It's the Art of Recovery.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
So,
the Opera House in Traverse City.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty cool event. You were kind of walking me through it, which is a great way to do it, especially in this media of a podcast, you know, to kind of set the scene for somebody, you know, as they walk into the Opera House after you park around the back or wherever you can find parking. But it's not that big a deal. But you walk in and you can take the elevator up. You know, they have like a stage. Not like a stage. They have a real stage.
Yeah,
It is
it's an opera house.
It's not like it. It is a stage.
Yeah.
And they have seating and stuff that you can walk into. But you say as you go up, if you take the stairs or whatever,
yeah.
there's going to be different food.
Yes,
that you can,
as you take the stairs up to the Opera House, once everyone checks in and you know, says hello to our team down there, as you enter up the stairs, you're going to come into this area where we're doing a silent auction. And so all of the artwork that we're featuring is going to be from local artists, individuals in recovery who have used art to heal, and also just people who have donated nice art that they have in their homes or that they have access to or connections with. And then everything that we raise from that silent auction is going directly towards a new fund we're setting up at ATS, actually, which I don't even think I've told you about yet.
No.
So with ATS right now, we're in the stage where we're billing for services. And so, you know, someone comes in, we're taking their insurance. And so that's how things have, you know, gone throughout the organization. However, we're ready to take things to the next level, and we want to serve everyone who comes through our doors. And so what we're doing right now is working to create this fund that can provide scholarships for people who might not have insurance or who need the additional support to go through our programs to get the help that they need. So we never have to turn anyone away. So it's a really powerful thing. and something that we're really excited to take those next steps into, because like I said, it's always been billing insurance, but what happens if you come through the doors, you lost your job, you don't have any type of insurance, and you need help? Well, we still want to help you. And so, that's our goal, is to build this scholarship fund. And, we're going to be contributing to this through this silent auction that we're having at the Opera House on September 14th, as you mentioned. And as you're walking around through that silent auction, we're also having local restaurants donating different charcuterie boards or appetizers. We already have our dear friends at Cook's House who have, they're going to be donating a spread for us. Really nice charcuterie board, meats, cheeses, all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
And then, we're looking to get a couple more restaurants as well, to be able to be there as well. And then that's all just taking place within the first, hour is the silent auction, the appetizers. We're going to do mocktails as well, looking at a local company to do that with right now. And then once we've kind of wrapped up that portion, we're inviting people into the Opera House for dinner. And so we have two different tiered options, one that does include dinner on the main level, and then that one will be $50. And so people can buy a table, 8 people to a table, and they can come and enjoy dinner with us, hear from Paula, who is going to be our first speaker of the night, and really share her recovery story. It's not one that anyone has really heard too in depth. And so I think it'll be really special for her to share that in this environment and for everyone to hear that. And then we're also going to have seating upstairs, kind of the auditorium style seating. So anyone who wants to come and just hear the recovery speakers can be up there as well. So everyone's getting charcuterie and appetizers. Everyone's getting mocktails. But yeah, for that $25 price, you're locking in the seat and the balcony level to be able to hear live entertainment, hear recovery speakers. And we're considering if we can make it as like an option to like replace a meeting or something like that, because we are having these recovery speakers there. And so these are all things we're looking into and actively planning. And
it's a lot.
Yeah.
And that's just the one event. We'll talk about Porchapalooza because I'm excited about that. That's always a fun event. But this one, it's the first one.
The first annual. No, I'm just kidding.
No, we both hate the word first annual because it doesn't make sense, because you can't have that. Annual is something that happened the second time and then keeps going. So we've
absolutely
talked about that. But yeah, it's the inaugural one. I don't think I said that correctly, but we'll just move on.
It is what it is.
But it's the first one, and the first ones, it can be difficult. It can be hard, to kind of get people, because they're like, what is it? Is it art thing? And there's a lot of people out there that are into art. What should somebody wear? Is it casual? Can you dress up to the nines?
Yeah, we're encouraging people to dress up. We want this to be a fun night on the town. We want, everyone from our local community, recovery community, to come in and feel celebrated and welcome. And, it's not black tie or anything like that. We're not getting that fancy, but, wear what makes you feel good. If that's, a dress or nice slacks and a button up, we want to have you there with us and to celebrate, recovery, hope, community, all of that. And so, we're not doing black tie, but, we're going to have, a step and repeat where people can take photos. And we're going to, like I said, have the mocktail, charcuterie, an option for dinner if you want to be in on that. So it's really just getting people there. And, that's why we're keeping ticket prices low. When you see a dinner that's a fundraiser, typically it's between $100, $200 a seat. We're doing $50 a seat. And so, for us with the tickets, what we're hoping to do is make the money to pay for the event. But what the art is doing, and, we're hoping that we're going to be selling centerpieces, the centerpieces that are on the table as well. And, have some different items that people can purchase. All of that money is what's going towards that fund to close the gap, that big insurance gap that I mentioned earlier. So, with the tables, we want everyone to be able to come. So it's like, $50 for a seat at the table versus, these other events you're saying $100, $200, or, being able to sit in that higher auditorium level seating and hear those recovery speakers. We'll have some live entertainment. It'll just be really beautiful. Just a great night of community.
And what if there's a local artist or maybe an artist that is not local but lives on the other side of the state, or maybe in Arkansas or Texas, and they're like, wow, this is something that I would like to donate something to. Who do they get a hold of? Did they call you?
Oh, yeah, they get a hold of me. My email address is Rachel S. That's RACHELS at addictiontreatmentservices.org.
Yeah, send an email if you're interested in sending that stuff. And we're going to probably, because we have an art group here every week, and we submitted our art to CMH. They had, I don't know, it was a similar kind of thing, but not really, where we submitted to that, and they had it at the library or something. And I think Mitch was the only one that had something that sold, but he never got his money.
Oh, no. Yeah.
He didn't get $1.
Yeah.
I think he was supposed to get like 100, but he didn't get anything.
No.
Nope, he didn't.
Well, for you to know, we are, artists are donating these pieces, but we still think it's important that they're getting a piece of this as well. When you donate a piece, you're able, if you want to, share, your recovery story or your journey or a little bit about you. And then we're also offering back 5% of whatever that purchase price was. So, instead of just saying like, hey, give us your artwork, we're like, okay, give us your artwork. We'll give you a little cut. Obviously, 95% of that is going to go towards this fund for addiction treatment services, because our goal is to support the recovery community here. But then also just to make sure that, like, hey, put your name on it. Hey, we're going to have, signage or different brochures where it talks about the artist. Like, put your name in there. Do you have a website you want to promote? Put it in there.
Yeah.
Give us your card. We'll, promote it. We want to make sure that, artists are able to, get their name out if they want. But if it's someone who's just, in the background using art as a part of their recovery, and, they don't want to get their name out, the notoriety isn't a part of it, they can just donate just to help the recovery community. If they say, I don't even want that 5% back, fine, we will put that directly right into that fund. So,
yeah, if you got some old stuff that you get kicking around the house, because there are so many artists, great artists that are in recovery. And I've seen many of them, come through here. And I know there's a lot that significant others don't like in the house anymore. And they're like, what are you doing with that? Well, it's just sitting there. But for what? Because I'm going to put it up one day. Where? In the new house. We just bought this one. What are you talking about? Well, it'll go somewhere someday. I don't know.
Hey, listen, I've got a great place for you to donate that exact piece to.
You can do that. Or, like Mitch, when we did it last year, because I kind of assigned our staff to, you're doing something for this. And we have all the art supplies for our groups that we have here. So it was kind of easy, but, just learning how to trace something or, to draw, because he was like, well, I can't draw very well. And it's like, well, trace something, and he kind of made it into his own. It wasn't just like, hey, I'm going to trace a horse. Here you go. It was like, it was a great piece of art what he did. And it was fun, and he actually was proud. He's like, mine's the only one that sold. I'm like, well, yours is the only one that looked good, bro. Like, we were just, I'm good with abstract art.
Yeah.
Because that's just whatever I want it to be. It's abstract, like this. It's abstract.
What is that?
It is a chalkboard with a firecracker on it that's glued to it and a match that's glued to it.
Oh, abstract.
Abstract. I should put that piece in there.
You should. I'll take it right now. $500. So the closest bidder.
Because that's how close you are, just having to blow up again,
Oh.
That's my thinking behind that.
Listen, and that's like, that is so much meaning behind that I wouldn't even think of. And so, with a piece like that, donate it. Give us your recovery story with it. What it represents to you. However, that is something on your wall. I
can
know.
always make another one.
Yeah.
It's a firecracker and a match.
But that's exactly what we're looking for, is to highlight and uplift the recovery community. And it's like, what's meaningful to you? Share your story. Like, let us know, let the community know. You know, addiction is something that, you know, isn't picking and choosing people. Like, it can happen to anyone. And so it's like, okay, tell us about your recovery. Let's lift it up. Let's celebrate you where you're at now. Let's celebrate our community. And let's end the stigma of addiction locally. Because this is something where people are ashamed to talk about addiction. Why? It happens to so many people across so many backgrounds. It can happen to anyone.
It can, and it does, and it will,
yeah.
and it will continue to, and it's not going away. You know, it's getting worse. And I think people, they have this sense of pride, especially when, you know, for parents, they don't want to be the ones that failed their child. You and I, we don't want to fail our child. And again, Marnie and I both are in recovery, and the whole preacher's daughter, you know, like Mitch, he's having trouble with his son sometimes, you know, and it's like, is he going to be defiant? Like, well, whatever, Dad, I'm going to do every drug under the sun because you don't tell me what to do. You know, like, I don't know.
But that's the thing of it, is talking about it.
Yes.
And, you know,
be real with it.
Yeah,
you know, not this is your brain on drugs and all the crap that they fed me when I was a kid, that I'm like, that's an egg, bro. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense to me. You know, make it make sense. And having a mother and father that has gone through it, hopefully, you know, that will help us. But again, I don't know. I'd love to hear you tell you, like, nope, our son will never do. That's stupid. That'd be the dumbest thing I've ever said. Well, close to the dumbest thing I've said today, but I'm not going to say that.
I saw that stop. Oh, no, that wasn't the dumbest thing I said.
No, I said some pretty dumb stuff earlier, but but I'm just saying, you know, like, to just say this, you don't know who it affects, and all we can do is not overreact and face it and meet it where it's at, you know, and like shoving it down in the basement and saying it doesn't exist, no problem, nothing to see here. That's not helping.
And how are you going to prevent something if you're not talking about it and communicating about it and being honest and open about it? It's, you know, one of those things where it's, you know, you don't talk to your kid about it. That could lead to, you know, a lot worse situations than if you're sitting there open communicating how it happened with you, your story, you know, your recovery, all the good that you found in, you know, the end of this journey. And, you know, I bet there's times where, you know, you definitely didn't, you know, you wish that you wouldn't have gone through that, but it led you to this beautiful family where you are today. Yeah. And it's like, you know, to be able to talk with your son and say, hey, like, I have this, and there's nothing that I would trade this for. This is what life is about. It's not about those other things I was mixed up in or had issues with. Like, this is what it's about. This is what the journey is about. Yeah,
you have to go through it in order to get to where you're at. Look, if you're a person in active addiction and you're like, man, I want that stuff, well, you're going to have to go through some hard times. And there's many people that will say the same thing, like, that are in recovery now, that will say, I will not trade anything. I learned a lot. I suffered a lot, lost a lot, but at the same time, I don't have to go through all that again. And I know that, you know, if I just continue on this path, every day's not great, no, but it's still a lot better than what it used to be. And, you know, to show people that is awesome. And I think someone could actually put that in their artwork and submit it. So where do they get the forms if someone does want to submit it again? They just email you for information. And we can put information, and we'll link it to whatever you want me to link it to, but we'll put it on 217recovery.com as well.
Absolutely, yeah. And we're always posting on our Facebook and Instagram account for addiction treatment services with the most recent updates or things that we've got going on. We are accepting artwork donations through all of August. So that's what we're looking at there. And yeah, I'll make sure you have all the information to share about it. But yeah, anyone can email me about anything, anytime.
Cool. And what we'll do too is we'll post, and maybe we'll make a video of us making our art projects for it. And if it doesn't sell, you guys can keep it.
And that's what we were talking about. We're like, you know, we want donations, we want things there. And it's like, you know, if something doesn't sell, we can always get it back to the artist. Or, you know, one of the other things that I pitched was, you know, being able to have these maybe in some of the recovery homes or, you know, somewhere where someone can see it and be positively influenced by it. Like, no matter what happens, I want something good to come out of this art, you know, whether it's making money for that fund we talked about, or, you know, it's going back to the artist with, you know, we love you message, but sorry, this one did not sell, or, you know, being hung on a wall at Dukoski where, you know, there's a beautiful message where, you know, a man who's going through recovery right now, or, you know, through their journey right now, sees it and it resonates with them. And so I think that's the beautiful thing about this artwork, and encouraging members of the recovery community to donate artwork, because large impact.
I'm just going to donate pictures of my face.
Those are the ones that aren't going to get.
It'll be all over Dukoski. Like, who is this a-hole? Oh, that's Corey Winfield. Why is this picture in the bathroom? Because he wants you to think of him when you're taking a dump. I don't know. Like, it doesn't make sense. That's where it is, man.
Nice and serene.
Get back to group. Nah, that's cool. And then Porchapalooza, that's coming up on the 27th of September.
Yes, correct.
And that's happening at Addiction Treatment Services, main location, 1010
Absolutely.
South Garfield Avenue. And what goes on this year?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to be doing a food truck. So there will be food there to kind of kick off the lunching hour. I think we're starting it this year around 11:30. And so with that, we're going to have different community resource tables out, one of them being you guys.
Yeah.
So you'll be there. And then we'll get the dunk tank going, obviously. Can't miss that, right?
I almost sound like you said dung. Dung
The
tank.
dunk. The
I was
dunk
like, dung tank. Like, that's interesting. Gonna have dung in there.
No, the dunk tank.
Tank.
And who knows? Maybe we'll get you in there or something.
No. Somebody's peed in there.
Oh my gosh.
I guarantee it. Somebody's peed in there.
Well, we're putting in fresh water.
I already have
you know?
bad skin. I don't need to swim in people's pee. Somebody will pee in there. Is Adam Newth jumping in?
Oh.
Adam Newth? I don't know.
Oh.
I'm not saying he would pee in there, but I'm not saying he wouldn't. You know, it's
Watch out, Adam.
it's one of those things, you know?
Yeah. So we'll have the dunk tank, community resource tables, maybe get a couple different classes going. I know there's a couple people I'm in talks with right now. And again, like I said, I'll be posting updates to Facebook and Instagram as we do kind of firm up everything there. But yeah, the typical kind of fun stuff we have going on that the community is known to love. And, you know, we're opening it up this year to our local community as well. If anyone does want to come by and get to know a little bit more about the recovery community, we're going to encourage that, because I know we do have some neighbors across the street who are like, what is that really fun looking fair thing you guys have going on? And we're like, you know what? We're going to invite you this year and we want you to come check it out and spread the word. And so for us, I think it's really important to, you know, we have this beautiful recovery community, but there's so many people outside of it who are siloed, who don't know where to go, who don't have resources or connections. And so for us, I think in this next phase of life for ATS, we want to open the doors. We want to make sure everyone's getting the support they need and that, you know, anyone can come to us. And so through Porchapalooza, we're going to be encouraging that this year. Like I said, community resource tables, different educational opportunities, food, a dunk tank. Like it's fun and it's exciting and it's, you know, recovery and hope and healing and all of that all in one space, and it's free. So anyone who wants to come can come and join us and have a great time.
I think we brought our bags last year for people who are playing bags.
Yeah.
A cornhole, whatever you want to call it. And
Bring them again this year.
Yeah, we could. I mean, they're just sitting up front.
Oh, you have
That's
to.
where they sit.
I'm marking you down for it right now.
All right, we can do that. And I think it's fun too for alumni, like people that have been through Dukoski or Phoenix, to come back.
Absolutely.
There's a couple of treatment centers that I went to. If they would have had something like this, I might go to it. There's a few that I would absolutely not. But if I went through ATS, I would want to come back. I would want to see the people that maybe are still here that influenced me, or just to say, hey, I made it and you thought I wouldn't, sucker.
Yeah.
You know, like throw it in their face, you know, like that's the thing. And
we all believe in you at ATS.
yeah, that
Calm
is true.
down there.
Yeah.
He's talking about other
I'm talking about personal
organizations.
experiences. I never went through addiction treatment services.
See, there we go.
Never went there for my treatment. But I have been to some others, and yeah, it was. But you know, in all fairness, a lot of times they were right because I wasn't ready. You know, and that's why I went 15 times.
Yeah.
After a week, I'm like, nope, got it. I'm out. See ya. And they're like, but you're not ready. You're going to fail. Whatever, dude.
Yeah. And that's definitely a thing. I think the average is 17 times before someone it's really able to click with them and stick with them, and they're ready. They're truly ready. So
I remember the last time I was in treatment, this guy who I was friends with him, I guess. And he was ragging on this other guy. He's like, man, that guy's, and this is like his 7th time in treatment. I was like, yeah.
That's it? No.
That's what I was. I was like, well, and then that's when I was like, I know I've been more than 7 times. And so I started counting them down, and I'm like, wow, this is my 15th time. And I was like, dude, how about you leave that guy alone, man? Like, that's cool that he's coming back.
Absolutely.
He didn't give up yet. So don't knock him for that.
Yeah. It takes a lot of courage, a lot of strength. And, if someone who is there and ready and knows they're ready to take the next steps, ATS is going to be there for them.
Yeah. And they don't judge you if you do have to come back. It's one of those things. It's a process. It doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
And I was still stuck trying to hold on to my ways when I was going through my thing. And I used to work at ATS for like a minute, and I would see people come through and they would say the same stuff I was saying. One of the big ones was like, I just need to get out of here, get a job, make some money, and I'll be good. No, that doesn't work.
Because your recovery needs to come first.
Yeah,
and that's
it's not.
one of the
it's
things.
not the job. Like, it wasn't the lack of money that made me want to get treatment. Well, it was the lack of money that I had because I couldn't buy any more liquor. My lights were still getting shut off. Like it was that had nothing to do with it. Sure, it makes you more comfortable when you can pay your bills and you have everything going for you. But that wasn't it. I wasn't doing the things I needed to do, and I was stuck in life too. With where am I going? What do I want to do? Do I want to go back into radio? No, I don't. Or do I go to school to be a drug counselor? I really don't want to be a drug counselor. And it's like, what am I doing? And it wasn't until I was in treatment that last time that it was like, I'm going to start a podcast. Just simple, like, I'm going to start a podcast about my recovery. And it was so freeing for me to open the door and be like, I'm in recovery. Being on the radio for so long, I was always trying to hide it.
Yeah.
And I was afraid to tell my bosses at iHeartMedia, like, hey, I'm your guy here running the Fort Smith cluster pretty much, but I'm also doing your afternoons in Fayetteville, but I can't stop shaking because I need a drink. I can't tell them that. They're like, your promotions director, your website guy, you're this, you're that, your afternoon host. I can't tell them that. They're going to fire me. And they were one of the best companies to handle that stuff. They knew exactly what to do. They're the biggest radio company in the world. Like, they've been through this before. And it was so nice to like not get fired, and them just go get help. Like, come back when you're ready. Take your job's here for you, buddy. Like, we love you. We want you to do good. Just take as much time as you need. It's like, okay. Yeah. I didn't even miss a paycheck, not one time.
That's incredible.
It was amazing. And then I moved back to Michigan thinking, oh yeah, I'll just not drink anymore. This will be easy. And I didn't tell anybody at the news station about my past and my liver failure and stuff. And they were just like, okay. And then I went to go seek help for depression, which is a common thing when you just stop using your drug, because that's giving you your dopamine and all that. And it's making you feel good. And now you can't feel good at all. Nothing will make you feel good. And so I went through this depression, and I didn't know at the time, but that's normal. And so I went to Pine Rest in Grand Rapids. And I get out and they suspended me for 2 weeks with no pay, demoted me from being program director, morning show host. I'm like, what just happened?
Yeah.
And of course I went back to Pine Rest, because I'm like, what did just happen? Like, I told them where I was going. Like, it was no secret. It's not like I just left in the middle of the night. I'm like, I'm going to go get help. They're like, good, we got you. And then they lied to me. So but those companies are out there too. And then I'm like the 3rd or 4th time back to Pine Rest. They were like, that sounds like a really crappy place to work. Why are you still stressing about that? I'm like, well, because they made me mad. And he's like, well, time will heal that and you'll get over it. But why would you want to work for those people anyway? And he's like, how much did they pay to move all your stuff home? I was like, $5,000. He was like, well, look at it like they paid $5,000 to move your stuff home. Move on.
Yeah.
And I did. And that really did help how you look at things. And so that was a huge thing, getting over that. But for someone who can come back, though, to a place that they went to treatment with and see some of the same faces and some of the same people, that's a pat on the back. That there's
It's powerful. It's
yeah,
powerful.
it's a feel good feeling, whether you lost weight, gained weight, doesn't matter. You know, if you're still in recovery, that's awesome. And I can tell you this for a fact, without even knowing anybody who's involved in this scenario I'm about to play out. But if you went through ATS and you go back and you see somebody that works there, you're going to have a moment of happy tears. And the person who works there will probably have them as well. When I go to UFAM and I see somebody that we've taken 3 years ago to treatment, and they're like, "Hey, man, thank you so much for that ride. I'm still sober," or I'll get a text sometimes, "Hey, I got 2 years, 3 years today," you know. I love that.
Yeah.
You know, and it makes me feel good. And I had such a little bitty part in it, but still it makes me feel good to see those people making it, you know, and being a part of the recovery community.
Yeah. I mean, the recovery community is close, and it's like our whole staff is going to be out at Porchapalooza, and, you know, everyone who's gone through our services, our programs before are completely encouraged and invited to come to this, and along with our local community as well. And so, you know, we want everyone to be there to have those special moments of, you know, seeing someone who helped them through, you know, could have been one of the worst days of their life. You know what I mean? So it's one of those things where, you know, we want everyone to be there to celebrate. We're here to celebrate. That's what Porchapalooza and Art of Recovery really are. They are celebrations for the recovery community and an opportunity for us to do more for the recovery community. Because addiction treatment services, we want to grow. We want to close those gaps to insurance. We want to connect our community. We want to lessen the stigma around addiction. And so that's why Recovery Month and these celebrations are so incredibly important to us.
Yeah, so come out. And like I said, you can find the info. We'll link it, 217recovery.com. It'll be there. And then, of course, you know, on Facebook, Instagram, stuff like that. They can reach out through email as well. So it's a fun time. And we already have stuff on our lobby about it. So if people want to come by the 217 Recovery Center in Traverse City, we have that too. But you can always just pop over to ATS and like, hey, I want some more information about that.
Yep.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But it'll be fun. I appreciate you coming by. It was nice meeting you.
Yeah, you too.
I think I kept it PG for the most part.
Oh, totally.
A couple times it was going a little bit, but I reeled it back in. But yeah, thanks, Rachel, for stopping by. Addiction Treatment Services, 1010 South Garfield Avenue in Traverse City. addictiontreatmentservices.org is your guys' website. And I don't know your phone number off my heart. 231-346-0044.
Fabulous.
Extension 218.
That is to get me directly.
What's up with that? You couldn't get 217?
Oh.
Who has
I need to figure out who has 217.
Who has 217? Should we call them now?
But that's how you can always remember my number is the ATS number, extension 218. Because I wasn't cool enough to be 217.
Plus one. All right. Until next time, thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening to the 217 Recovery Podcast. Listen to over 900 episodes on the 217 Recovery app that's free in your app store or online at 217recovery.com.